Okay, so the first one here we're going to continue our conversation we were just having. It's about a show called SEAL Team. This is a show that I love.
I never watched it.
It's a David Boreanaz show. David, you want to talk about having a fantastic agent? David Boreanaz has literally never stopped working since the day he entered Hollywood. From Angel to Bones to SEAL Team to everything. He's also a director and writer. And from what I understand, the actors on SEAL Team are very libertarian.
Oh.
I have heard such things through the grapevine, and I love it. But this is a show called SEAL Team, and it says renewed for season 6 at Paramount Plus, and this goes into the streaming service debate that we were literally just having. It says Paramount Plus has announced it's bringing the hit military drama SEAL Team back for a 6th season. The series follows the professional and personal lives of elite SEAL Team Navy SEALs as they engage in some of the most dangerous military missions and try to deal with everyday life when they are not deployed somewhere around the globe. Does anybody else remember the show The Unit?
Yeah.
I loved that show. And I love Max Martini, which may be the greatest name of an actor.
That's awesome.
If it's not a stage name, it's the greatest name in history. Max Martini is a fantastic name. Literally, it's like his job. I imagine on his resume it says plays tough guy really well. I remember he was in an episode of Lie to Me as like a doctor, and he's not a psychologist. Look at that guy. He's got like a scar under his eye. So it says SEAL Team follows an elite unit called Bravo Team, led by respected and intense team leader Jason Hayes, played by David Boreanaz. SEAL Team Season 6 renewal comes on the heels of Season 5 finale, which aired on Paramount Plus on January 23rd. The series cast also includes Max Thoreau, Neil Brown Jr., AJ Buckley, and Tony Trucks as a part of the elite team. Besides engaging viewers with the action-packed missions of the special unit, SEAL Team is also praised for how it showcases how life in the military affects the well-being of soldiers. SEAL Team also deals with the pressure felt by families and of soldiers, adding another layer to the military drama. That's something the unit did as well. It was just as much about the wives of the team leaders as it was about the characters. But down here it says SEAL Team premiered on CBS in 2017. The series aired on the broadcast channel for 4 seasons until it switched to Paramount Plus last year. So instead of getting canceled, they moved it to a streaming service. I'm assuming CBS and Paramount Plus are the same, have the same parent companies, right? So it says, although SEAL Team is now part of the streaming platform's exclusive catalog, the series kept its audience, which led to the most recent renewal. That had to be, when you really think about that, you take a network as old as CBS, and if you manage to keep your viewership switching over to streaming, that's probably an accomplishment in and of itself. They're like I'm just picturing old people like, how do I use this this newfangled Roku remote? What do you mean? I click on the logo. It's not an up or a down arrow. I'm just picturing them so clearly there was an audience there that followed them, and that's what all these places are looking for, right? They're looking for you to follow them to different mediums, following them to different Star Wars wishes they could get people to actually follow them to the tie-in novelizations that nobody cares about to the movies. It says, although SEAL Team will come back for another go-round, Season 6 will once again change the season's length. So it went from 22 episodes on seasons 1 through 4. For seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 was 20 episodes. Season 4 was 16 episodes. And the 5th season was 14. Now it's down to 10. So they're just lowering the budget, lowering the episodes so they can keep the quality up.
Yeah.
And that's almost, it's showing you like a network show organically becoming what everything else is becoming on its own. Right? Like Disney Plus isn't releasing new series. They're releasing limited runs. WandaVision was a limited run.
Lucky.
What did I say?
It's
Hawkeye. Hawkeye was an 8 episode. All of these shows are 8 episodes, and they're not necessarily even guaranteed a second season.
That's a really interesting trajectory for this show because,
yes.
like Legacy Media, they have 24 episodes, and there's so much fat you could trim, and they're just slowly slicing off that fat and cutting to the bone. 10 episodes.
Yep. I love the fat.
You love that world. You just love the world of the show.
I love the world of the show. Like when I watch a show, I love being invested in these characters, even on the episodes that don't matter. I don't need a show to be nonstop action the whole time because I want to feel as if I live in that environment with the characters. Now, that's a large time commitment. A lot of people don't, especially with so much to choose from these days. I understand that I am not the target demographic. I think I'm a little bit more weird in that respect. I love the old school form of having to find a way to tell that story through 22 episodes. It challenges the writers to be creative. Like, I don't even think bottle episodes are a thing anymore because they have to budget it out for less episodes, but you know, they're not going to have that one episode. Arguably, my favorite X-Files episode of all time is a bottle episode. It's called Musings of a Cigarette Smoking Man. And the whole episode takes place...
yes. Yep, I'm aware of that one, yeah.
The whole episode takes place with the cigarette smoking man on like a... You can tell it's like a sound stage, and he's listening to the lone gunman talk through a sniper scope with like a bug in the office. And the whole episode takes place there, and then some basic sets where it's like... it's the cigarette smoking man as he takes out Kennedy, and as he takes out MLK. Yeah. And it's all this stuff, and it very clearly was much cheaper than the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. The bottles are budget savers.
It's designed to say they
just
use
like Breaking Bad.
Yes,
the bottleneck episode there. They blew their budget on that giant, meth cooking lab.
Yep.
So they just had to shoot a whole episode there. And I would argue that's probably the worst episode out of a brilliant show.
Yep.
Like it. I mean, I appreciate some of the aesthetic qualities of it, but it kind of meandered for me. You know, and that can happen with bottleneck episodes. But also Girls, the TV show Girls. Yeah. They had a couple bottleneck episodes that were incredible.
Yep.
You know, so it goes, right or left. It's hard
I
to
imagine
say.
The writers see it as a challenge to take, to have to engage with people and keep people's interest in a setting where they can't move they're not allowed to move around. They're doing it mostly in the same sets.
And some writers are better equipped to take that challenge on, because when it comes to the world of like TV and film, some people come from the world of TV and film, and some writers actually come from the theater.
Yep.
You know, so when you have some writers that come from that theatrical background where you are on a stationary, place for the most part, they have that training and skill to sort of just like sustain characters in one location going at it for a while. But TV and film writers, they don't necessarily have that background. They don't have that, they're not up for meeting that challenge.
And I'd also argue nowadays that most of the writers in the past came with a writing background. Now they come with like a screenwriting background.
Yes.
And those that there's a vastly different quality to both of those that I think gets lost in translation now. Do you care, like, when you watch TV, do you care if the whole episode takes place in one place? Would you even notice it if that was happening?
I wouldn't notice it. Like, it didn't really bother me in Hawkeye, but terrible writing. That show really sucks.
I only use that as an example about the episode length. That I don't know if there was even any bottle episodes in that show, but he's right about like Breaking Bad. Like, you can usually tell. Like, you're magically, like, the whole crew is like, House did one where they're all locked in the hospital because of a potential bomb scare that never actually happens. But it's an excuse they can't do any procedures because it's just them talking to one another in rooms as they're running through. You can tell where the bottle episodes are, and then it's a matter of whether the writing team is up to actually filling that out. And I think now they've moved it from 22 episodes in season 1 to just 10 episodes in season 6. Arguably, it has to be nothing but breakneck pace from start to finish. But how do you do that with a show that's literally built on being both about action and family drama?
Right.
So now they have to adjust their writing style, and are they up to that?
Well, it's a CBS, so probably not. I mean,
I love Boreanaz. And I love
right. You have to get a sticker or like something that says CBS just to annoy Chris Carr now.
We're gonna make a background for you. It's gonna be all stuff that annoys you.
I love that.
The British.
Yeah. The British
CBS,
flag, CBS,
Legacy.
Actually, I do
ABC.
have British flags behind me. You
I
can't
know.
see them.
But they're off. This camera is blocking them. And that's just how it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We just need to block all Britain just for Chris Carr.
We'll make him his own background. Actually, we're gonna put just a map of Britain in the back with a big I think that's hilarious. And then instead of cities, it will be other things that annoy you. So like in the place of like Luxembourg is like
Christopher Nolan.
Is Christopher Nolan's name. Birmingham, it's just a picture of this. It's just the CBS logo.
Just and another one is gonna be like just sci-fi and then fantasy.
It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be fantastic.
The movie Heat.
I love it.
Yeah. It's right back there. It's perfect.
Got to rewatch it.
All right, so let's talk Ricky Gervais, because he really does. He's a fantastic marketer for himself. It says Ricky Gervais says he's going to try and get canceled with his new stand-up show.
Nice. I don't think he can. He's like
Ooh, is he uncancelable?
He's the same thing like how Dave Chappelle is like uncancelable.
Yeah. It says Ricky Gervais has claimed he's going to try and get canceled with his next stand-up show. He knows that's not going to happen, or he knows that this works towards his brand. It says down the years, countless comics have complained that political correctness, woke culture, and the prospect of being ostracized for a risque joke have left them feeling creatively stifled. But Gervais has seemingly decided that he won't be holding back with his next show. Rather, he plans on charging straight forward towards cancellation. What's his Louis C.K.'s back now. He's like self-produced. He's like, when you got money and infrastructure, you can do your own stuff, right? He doesn't need. He could make his own show and put it on and cut a deal with either a service or whatever. He doesn't like. All he needs is like to talk one studio exec into producing into allowing it onto a network, and he will make his money back, right? Mm-hmm. It says the 60-year-old told Heat. I wonder who Heat is. Heat the name of a magazine? Is there
Heat?
One thing I've decided to definitely do, and I can't wait to start on, is my new stand-up show. It's going to be called Armageddon. I'm treating it like it's my last one ever. It won't be, but I want to put everything into it. I want to try and get canceled. No, I just want to go out. I just want to go all out there. It's about the end of the world and how it's going to destroy ourselves for lots of reasons, whether it's media stupidity or the actual end of the world. Lovely, cuddly, lighthearted subjects for comedy then as ever. Laugh or we'll cry, I suppose. So he's being sarcastic there. I like it. He says he just finished that show Afterlife too, which got He says he added that he was excited to get cracking on another show with Netflix following the conclusion of Afterlife. So he wants to get canceled, but he's about to start another show with Netflix. It's just a buzzword now, just like anything else. Cancellation is when you have that much money. It's like Mel Gibson. He's uncancelable. He's got too much money and too many relationships within the finance side of the Hollywood industry.
Exactly.
So it says he said as long as the next scripted thing Netflix said I could either do a 4th season of Afterlife or the 1st season of something new. I'm going to go for something new that feels very exciting. I'll keep going as long as I'm allowed. I appreciate that in any respect. I do think that he uses it as a marketing tool now, but it is part of his brand, right? He's like Chappelle. It's less his brand and more like he just does stuff that annoys people and then claps back when they call him out. Him, it's actually a brand to be like, you don't need to worry about getting canceled if you just go for it.
It's interesting that he knows that and understands that so well that he's able to weaponize it as a form of marketing. But he's also right.
Yes.
You know, what is it about Ricky Gervais that makes him uncancelable? Like, it's interesting that he knows that he is, but what is it about what he does?
It's I think there's a level of courage there that comes from having the money to be able to be if something if say that they do tell him that he's done and he can't make anything anymore, he's not financially going to struggle. The reason a lot of younger people fail to want to do that is the media scrutiny and then the fear that they won't be able to make income. When you have the financial stability that you can do this, you can turn it into a brand.
Yeah, but doesn't Chappelle have screw you money at this point?
Yeah, well, he does, but I'm saying...
that's what... I don't know. I guess that's an interesting distinction, you know? It's because, like, Chappelle... It's the difference between somebody just being like, oh, I'm going to win this game, versus somebody's just like, well, I'm going to play the game. Yeah. Like Chappelle just wants to go up and do comedy. Like, there's some sort of, like, pure artistry there.
Yes.
But Ricky Gervais, I don't know. I feel like... I don't know. I'm a little strange because I regard marketing as a form of pure evil. So he's figured out a way to, you know, sort of retrofit this idea of cancellation in his favor. And it's because he's not going to really do anything that is worthy of cancellation. Yep. So I find it a little appalling.
Well, the Golden Globes 2020 speech, I don't know if from what I've heard is like nobody knew he was going to say those things until he got out there. I don't know how much I can actually buy that he didn't have to run that by someone on some level. And are these studios just smart enough to know that for every there's a market for everything, right? So they can make money on both ends. They market the horrible identity politics laden crap towards one group that seemingly doesn't seem to buy anything anyways. That's the funny thing about it, is those people don't actually spend money on stuff. Right. People who care about that stuff, but the people who care about people getting canceled will throw their money behind this stuff because it's a principle for them. They really believe in the idea of free speech, even if it's being served to them as a product.
Well, I don't know. The more I think about this, the more we get into it, I'm just like, Ricky Gervais, controlled opposition.
Yeah. I mean, one thing about coming to work here is you see how much of it, no matter how much you believe, everything that you say, when you're doing it in front of a camera, it is a marketable object that you're selling to someone. Whether you can still really believe in it, but you're still selling someone something. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, especially if you believe in the cause. I mean, are you supposed to only sell things that you don't believe in? Then you're just as bad, right? So if this is about transparency, like, are you supposed to, every time you talk about free speech, say, and I'm selling a product, so just be aware? I can't expect someone to do that. They have to respect their audience enough that they know that they're both being sold something, but it's something that they believe in, that they believe in the morality, whether it's morality or some type of religious belief structure. You have to sell it, but also respect your audience enough to know that you don't need to put a label on it every time.
Well, that's the thing with Gervais. The more I think about it, I think that he's somebody that is more than willing to make a deal, take orders, and toe the line if he's told to do so.
See, I don't know about that. Like I'm saying, like, he makes the stuff he wants to make. I don't know if it's about toe the line. I'm saying that he'll just do the projects he wants to make, and if they don't want to do it, then he won't do it. I don't think he's going to make something he doesn't want to do.
I think he'd take notes. You know? I mean, like,
I think he's just shrewd.
There's no doubt about that. He is, but
I think he's just shrewd and knows what people want. He's just a businessman, and he's just a salesman selling you something, and that right now is counterculture.
Okay, Brett, he's British and I don't like him. What do you want me to say?
He's kind of becoming like he's repackaged himself as he's kind of always been. He has the look of an everyman, right?
He does, yeah.
So it says, you can joke about anything, but it depends on what the actual target is. If you use irony and people see that at face value and think you're saying one thing, but you're actually saying the opposite. Quote, even the critical thinkers, if it's a subject that's personal to them, they can't see the wood for the trees. They can't see objectively. People laugh at 19 of the terrible subjects I joke about, but not the 20th one because that affects them. See, I think he takes a very wide panoramic view of all this and sees it as part of his job.
Yep.
That was a direct quote that you just read from him? You see, he made a whole movie about that. The Invention of Lying. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God. You see, like, everything that he just said there, he made a whole brilliant movie about. And the title's very transparent. It's about, the whole premise of the movie is that they live in a world where nobody lies.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
radical truth. Like they physically can't lie?
Nobody's even heard of it.
Okay.
Like, all you have to do is, like, everybody just tells the truth all the time. And then his character, his protagonist, realizes that you can actually lie. And then, over the course of, like, the first 45, 60 minutes of the movie, he becomes a religious figure. And then he becomes, like, kind of a Moses character. And then his, whole, like, new atheist thing comes into play. But that's true. I mean, that seems to be a very deep part of his aesthetic.
I think he's very shrewd as a businessman. I think he understands that. First of all, I also want to say that one of the things I hear a lot is, like, in 10 years, everyone's going to regard being canceled as, like, a badge of honor. Like, if you haven't...
Some already do.
If you haven't been at that point, there's probably nothing interesting about you. Meaning that you towed the line the whole time, because you can get in trouble for literally anything now.
Yeah.
But I think that might, undermine the total power of, like, corporate culture. Corporate culture may be more powerful than, the radicals that are going to be proud of being canceled.
But the corporate offices use these people as bludgeons.
Some of these people.
they use the ones that they want to get rid of as bludgeons. If they don't like someone, they can just who writes the articles? How do the articles get approved? Maybe that person writing the article actually believes that, but an editor still had to approve it to be put up on the site. So what he's done in effect, is take the fact that somebody will write a bad article about him, but the product still comes out. It's not like it doesn't come out. So as long as he can withstand the barrage of articles, then it doesn't matter because the product sells. Yeah. Afterlife still did well on Netflix, even though, and I don't really know anyone that had anything. Chappelle got way more backlash than Gervais did. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Like, I remember people being shocked about what Gervais said because there was a lot of truth in what he said. The sweatshops in China part being the part that I thought was the funniest out of all of it. Because that's speaking not just to people who are identity politics extremists, but to the actual corporate side of it. And that, to me, is harder to imagine you pushing back on, right? So he pushes back on Apple, but that's a lot harder for me to buy than him pushing back on people who just happen to think that he's against minorities or he's against this or that. Those people just write the articles. Steve Jobs, who's the guy in charge of Apple now? I always forget that.
Tim Apple.
Tim Apple. It's like, I don't know.
Tim Cook.
Tim Cook.
Yeah.
To me, it's like when they start pushing back against studio executives, that's when I'll buy that they're actually counterculture. But they're not. They're just pushing back at the controlled opposition, like you said. So I just think he's a very, very shrewd and intelligent businessman who's found a very marketable, like you said. I think Chappelle just does it and doesn't even really realize that he's become a champion for people. Maybe he does, but he's actually made it part of his persona, his personality.
Yep.
So.
Well, he has been ever since he started hosting the Golden Globes. You know, I mean, I guess there have been those little attempts to, let's see what I can get away with.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's just like a genuine puckish, impulse that he has, or if it's a little bit more premeditated.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
Cynical side of me says it's premeditated for financial gain. Then I ask, is that a bad thing? If it changes the culture in a direction that I like, selfishly, that people are more free to say what they want, have an opinion, and people are going to have their opinion back at you, but you don't get in trouble for it. You're just seen as somebody who they don't like. If he pushes towards a movement that finds free speech to be a good thing, do I care that it's financially or business motivated by business for him? I mean, who doesn't in this industry? You're not going to find somebody who isn't motivated by self. It doesn't exist.
True.
In fact, I would argue that the people that claim that they're doing it for the good of others are far, far more...
they're lying.
Are far more devious. So...
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll see when this next piece of work comes out.
Yeah.
It really comes down to the content for me. Like I said, marketing, I could care less. If I tune into the content and I respond to the content, then it's good.
Plus, he's British, so you just don't like him.
Yeah.
Out of all the Brits, I think he's probably in my top 5 or 10 that I've seen moments of brilliance from. I mean, do yourself a favor and watch The Invention of Lying. Okay. It is a brilliant movie. I mean, just it's a great premise, and it just executed on such a great level. It's really good.
Then I have a very serious question.
Go for it.
UK Office or American Office?
Neither.
You don't like Steve Carell where he does his iconic moment where he's like, no. Oh, okay.
There was a period of my life when I watched, the first 3 seasons of The Office regularly.
Yeah, it's okay. I haven't
right.
watched it either.
It's NBC.
It's like
it's Peacock TV.
Yeah.
No.
So you're not a fan of 30 Rock?
No.
30 Oh my god, 30 Rock, their season where they talk about politics, it was very annoying, and it annoyed the hell out of me, and I do not like Alec Baldwin because of that.
That's what got you off the Alec Baldwin bandwagon.
Yeah, I was like,
I also heard something else happened on a movie set, but that's not the point.
It's okay. My hatred began there.
Yes, it's like.
No, I mean, in the age where you have Netflix and HBO, and you have you have TV shows where the guardrails are completely removed, and you can really make whatever content that genuinely creative people can make. I just don't understand the impulse to watch current products from the legacy media companies or former products from those companies. I just don't get it. It's like...
Doesn't make sense to you?
I don't know. It's like I wish I had the right metaphor at my fingertips. It's like I don't know. It's not coming to me, but I just can't follow that logic. I don't get it.
What's an example of something you do that you've seen recently that you find brilliance in? Something you do enjoy watching?
Euphoria.
Okay.
Euphoria has absolutely blown me away. I mean, my wife was really excited for the second season. I was just like, I saw the first season. I think that story is concluded. It's over, you know? And she watched the first 3 episodes. She was just like, I'm not going to go on. You have to watch these with me. And it's like, it's Tarantino. Like it is like pure cinema on TV. Like I've never, it's been a really long time since I've seen something as aesthetically pleasing and mind blowing as Euphoria. It's really incredible. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah.
Not to you, but to,
Yes.
you know, the listeners and viewers.
What have you, is there anything you've been watching that you find to be far above other things that are being put out right now?
Right now, not really, because they kind of feel the same to me. I did want you to watch that Korean drama series that's called We Are All Dead, and it's basically it's similar to Train to Busan. It's about like basically society like has crumbled because the zombie virus came out, but this one it's a little bit different. There's human and zombie hybrids, and like the human zombie hybrids, they still have their subconscious, so they act like humans, but they still have that craving for flesh. So there's like there's one character that they talk about it. He was like the antagonist, but he dies later. And then there's a person that actually succeeded as the hybrid.
A nuanced take on the zombie.
Interesting. Yeah, it was like trending for a little while, but Brett and I are watching so many TV show series right now, so we didn't have the time to put it in, and plus it's like the longest TV show series ever. In total, that whole TV show is like over 12 hours long.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't even do we watched Archive 81, and every episode is 56 minutes, and there's 8 episodes of it. It's a lot for me.
Oh, real quickly though, Dope Set?
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Dope Set?
I don't do anything.
Can't
right. Of course. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I heard good things about
that.
Dope
Was another
Set.
good one. Yeah.
I can't watch. I can't watch Scanner Darkly. I can't watch Requiem for a Dream. Any of that stuff. I am going to watch the new Jack Reacher show when it comes out. On the 4th. I have the weakness for anything spy or military related as far as those types of shows. Billions had brilliance in the first season. I love Damian Lewis.
Yes.
Homeland, of course, had the same, especially that first season was something special to me. Like a lot of people were like, that was when Game of Thrones was very, very big, but to me, it just... Our coworker Andrew doesn't like it, but high fantasy, I can't do it. The dialogue, I start to tune out. I understand that there's a lot of beautiful writing in that, but just
Game of Thrones.
Well, just any type of high fancy.
I see.
He couldn't watch the second season.
Cut rate Shakespeare. I can't hear it either. I can't hear it. Yeah.
I hear it like we're watching a show called The Legend of Vox Machina, and it's the one based on the show you're talking about. And it's just funny because they're like Americans talking with like vaguely British terms.
Right.
Like they're saying sire. I'm like, no American has ever said sire in their entire life. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
So like I can't do those types of shows. But like I've heard Succession is very, very good, but I haven't watched it. But there's a lot of good TV. You just have to be willing to slog through and find it. And I tend to like stuff that ends up being less popular anyway. Like I love old sci-fi shit. Like I love the mid 2000s sci-fi. I love Warehouse 13 and Eureka and these shows that were far more character driven than they were. The CGI was always questionable. I didn't care as long as if a character's engaging, you can keep me. I talk about charisma a lot on here. Bringing charisma and heart to a role will keep me engaged far longer than an airtight script or great CGI. Like I said, I like the characters. I like the world to feel lived in. So it's a little bit different.
Definitely.
So. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. For me, like old TV shows, like how you said, like they're a little bit better than the new ones. But I am excited for Rick and Morty to release season 5.
Okay. When's that?
They said somewhere in this year in June, maybe.
In June?
I don't know.
Soon. Oh, not really. That's still a while away. It's not,
They're just teasing me with that new season. I need that Rick and Morty.
Burn Notice is an example of maybe my favorite one of my favorite shows of all time. Burn Notice and White Collar were both USA shows in the early 2010s that were very had very solid writing and only did limited episodes, like 12 to 16 episodes a season. So.
Well, I need to rewatch Heroes. That's a show that I kind of miss.
I don't even think I've seen past season 3 of Heroes.
Well, like, it was kind of weird because I watched it here and
People
there.
love that show.
Yeah.
The 440 is also something I've heard very, very good things about that I never watched. That I never got into, but people said it was really good. Manifest is supposed to be similar.
That one is really good.
Yeah.
I watched like the first 3 episodes. It's really good, but for me, I can't commit to like a long series to that. There's a long series like that.
Longer, the network television model. There was a really funny time in the early 2010s when ABC kept trying to do like fantasy or like ethereal type, like they had a show called Believe, and then they tried to do Wayward Pines, and they were like prototype Stranger Things without the atmosphere, or like it was like adult Stranger Things, like just not like they were like not quite grim, but not didn't work.
Well, like,
is it aliens? Is it nobody knew, like they didn't know what they wanted to be, and they inevitably would make it like a season and a half, and then.
Well, I'm excited if they do make like a TV show series that is based on Constantine.
Never gonna happen now.
Yeah.
Well, I just want it to happen, even though Matt Ryan's not gonna be Constantine.
You should write a letter to your congressman.
I don't want to. That requires me actually typing.
Your job is literally to type.
I know, but it's easier to type to them.
That's why you don't want to type recreationally.
Yes.
You type at work, but not, on your free time, of course.
Exactly. Think, Brett. Think.
I should have thought ahead. My bad.
But I don't know. There's a lot of shows that I'm excited for that are coming out soon. Like, there was like another show where they released a teaser that also is coming out in June 22nd. Not 22nd, 2022. I forgot what it's called, but they released it, and I was like, "You're such a tease! I want to watch it now."
There's so much stuff being made that I usually don't even realize something's coming out until like a week before it does, or like I'm gonna watch the Halo series when it comes out because I love stuff that I have no emotional connection to, so I can watch it more objectively than somebody who plays the games. I can enjoy it for what it is.
I asked my friends who actually like love Halo to death. I asked him about it. I was like, "Are you excited about the series?" He says, I'm not excited, but I hope they do it okay."
Yep. I feel like they might have been more excited if it was a movie, but a show is harder to get. Plus, they're like, do I have to buy Paramount Plus?
Oh, no.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work. Like,
well,
Paramount was like the last one to finish this streaming race.
Like,
Exactly.
literally, like even with this job, I'm like, I'm not getting Peacock or Paramount Plus.
No.
Like, I'm going to have to get Paramount Plus for Halo, but that's a work write-off.
No,
there you go. Perfect.
You know what we do is we just asked him if we can have Paramount Plus on the main TV.
I'm not. See, the thing, I literally pay for them all, so I don't have to watch them with people downstairs. I pay for it so I can have it in my room.
That's the right move.
Yeah.
He's just a hermit. But both of you guys are very introverted.
I can't focus when other people are around there doing stuff in the. Like I have to. I'm literally like Nick came in one day and he's like I'm like watching something. He's like, "Oh, you take notes." I'm like, yeah, I take notes. I don't just wing it. Like, it is what and I of course, I really ever actually look at them, and my handwriting is completely awful, but you remember it better if you write it down.
Exactly.
Are you the person who can read their own handwriting or can't?
Barely. I mean, I can't, like, I didn't even mention Inverse Society. That was a thing earlier. Didn't even.
What's Inverse Society?
That was the name of the cult from the Superman and Lois episode.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I wrote that down. I'm like, I don't know what that means. So
sounds like it could be a real thing.
It could be.
Yeah.
It kind of does. It kind of sounds like something that Archive 81 would
it
bring
does.
up.
It does.
Because, like, have you watched that series yet?
No, I haven't.
So basically, I think you would really like it, but it's a long commitment.
Where is it?
It's on Netflix.
It's a very long commitment. Are you like a found footage fan? Imagine found footage thriller rather than found footage horror.
Mm-hmm. It's a thriller. Like, when they first advertised it, I thought it was going to be a horror series, but it wasn't.
No, it's not.
But basically, there's a cult within the TV show series, and it kind of sounds like what Brett brought up. It kind of sounds like it's related to that show, but it's not, because the whole theory is they have a deity that's called Calypso.
Kalego, my bad.
Kalego.
See, I remember that because I wrote it down at one time.
So Kalego is either a demon or a deity, depending who's looking at it. And basically,
pitching the show is impossible.
Yeah, but he wants to come to our world, which is like 2022, but he has like his own mirror universe, which is kind of like inverted. What?
Just do this.
Yes.
It's a cult in an apartment building. It's an apartment building cult.
That sounds intriguing.
Mm-hmm. It's like the Blair. I almost said Blair White again.
The Blair White. If she ever has a documentary,
that's what I want to see.
If she ever has a documentary, it better be called the Blair White Project.
The Blair White Project. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
If she doesn't do that, she's leaving money on the table.
Yeah, but it's a Blair Witch kind of project in the beginning. But then you meet is it Mamadou?
The actor's name's Mamadou Athie, yeah.
Yeah, so he's the main actor, but he was hired to fix like these tapes. And like slowly he goes insane because he sees the girl that he's watching the tapes of in his dreams. And he's like, maybe I'm going insane because I haven't seen other people. Who knows?
It sounds supernatural, not just thriller.
It is.
It's like supernatural, like just a hidden thing. I think you might like it. Both you and Alex might like it.
Cool.
But it's a long commitment.
Yeah.
Like
8 episodes at 56 minutes apiece is...
I can live with that.
It's,
it's good. I could do that.
Well, there's one episode that's like only 45 minutes and it goes quickly.
Okay.
So you don't notice anything. And Brett did get mad at me because I said 2 characters didn't matter, but they did kind of matter to the plot. They didn't matter to me.
When I ask you if they matter, I don't ask if they matter to you. I'm asking you if they matter to the show.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. You see what I have to deal with here?
Yeah.
Well,
it's a full-time job, man.
It's a full-time job, man.
I mean, it's entertaining to listen to.
Yeah.
You just getting mad at me, and I'm like, oh, well.
Yeah. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.